You want to roll around and throw some blades at the enemies, you mid-ranged bastards. Well, here is one of the new weapons added in the Shadow of the ERDTREE DLC, and it is absolutely amazing because it fits the game perfectly. I'm gonna explain why in a second, and I'm also gonna give you a build that I'm using in the video that is very effective and can deal with most enemies easily. All the bosses in the video are on New Game Plus, including the DLC bosses too. Good example is this upcoming fight against Relana. I really don't know her moveset, I didn't play against her that much and that many times, so my gameplay sucks. Screw it. That's the whole point of the throwing blades and why they are so damn good. You don't have to be an amazing player to get through these bosses with this particular weapon type. Reason why this weapon is so amazing because it deals with one of the problems that many bosses have in Elden Ring and its DLC, that is their long flailing combos. Bosses have a very long reach with most of their attacks, and this weapon allows you to stay at the perfect range to be still effective and give yourself way more chance to avoid upcoming attacks. Next to that, the piercing throw skill is one of the best skills in the game in my opinion if you don't want some OP crap that deals with bosses in one shot or two shots, because it can do really good damage from safe distance. Playstyle is rather simple, but it can be a little bit gimmicky until you get used to it, because you will have that problematic thing of wanting to be in short range when you really don't need to with this weapon. If the attack is coming, you can always do first a step back and then roll, or two rolls. Point is that rolls backwards are gonna create a good distance. With the good distance control, you can either use piercing throw Ash of War or wait for the attack to come, then one more roll backwards, followed by a quick attack. Strong attacks is not something I use with this weapon because it doesn't seem to work that well. In melee distance I just dual wield and then spam the quick attack if I can, and in long distance piercing throw is the way to go. We're gonna need a lot of stamina and stamina recovery to do this because of the rolls and the attacks. Attacks can spend a lot of stamina, especially the piercing throw, so we need a lot of it to be able to do these things in quick succession. Buffs that I use are coming from Flame Grant Me Strength and Golden Vow. Those two stack, and also another buff, attacking buff that I use is coming from the Wondrous Physics Flask, which is the Bloodthirst, meaning we trade health loss for increased damage. I've also made the dagger into magic weapon type so that we can inflict frostbite. I love frostbite because it slows enemies a little bit and it increases damage that they receive. Another good option is going for blood. Up to you, both work rather well. Here are a couple more fights and then going to explain the build. weapon is the Smith Script Dagger. It can be dual wielded, you don't need two of them, so don't be confused by that. Any kind of seal that can allow incantation casting. That's why we're gonna need Faith at 25, because we do need Golden Vow and Flame Strength. I would advise some kind of a light armor, but you can also go for Rakshasa armor because it increases damage dealt, although it's not that much, but it also increases damage taken, so it's quite a risky thing. If you want to go for it you can, but it's not necessary. First three talismans are a must-have: Shard of Alexander to increase skill damage, meaning piercing throw damage, then Smithing Talisman that increases weapon throwing attacks, then of course the Dragon Crest Great Talisman to give ourselves some defense. The last one is Rotten Winged Sword Insignia, but that one is optional. It's good, but you can also substitute it for something that decreases elemental damage type, or whatever else you see fit. Wondrous Physic is the blood-sucking cracked tier with the Green Burst. Green Burst is optional, but I like it a lot in this build. As already mentioned, the incantations that I'm using are Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength. Ignore the rest. Stat distribution should be something like this, but it depends on if you're going for the blood effect or cold effect. If you're going for cold, then 60 vigor, 50 endurance, 50 dexterity and 50 intelligence, with 25 points in faith. If you're going for blood Smithing Script Dagger, then go for vigor 60, endurance 50, dexterity 50, intelligence 11 to be able to wield the dagger, faith 25 and arcane 50. That's really all there is to it. Here is another example against Relana with the Mimic Tear. If you play with summons, it absolutely obliterates any enemy, except the last one of course. That's all, thanks for watching and stay tuned for more content.